We have a fight, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fight. Apparently, Jake Paul is taking on Iron Mike Tyson on July 20th. Now, I got a couple questions. I got a lot of things that we got to go over. There's a lot of events and things that are just out of the ordinary because this is the fight of the century. I don't care what anybody's talking about. Fuck Francis versus Anthony Joshua. Fuck John Jones versus Stipe. This is the fight that's going to capture people's imaginations. So we got Jake Paul, the young 26-year-old boxer who's basically trying to come into his own. He fought a couple of nobodies on the last two fights, and he decided, you know what? Fuck it, let me go back to freak show fights. Let me go get Tyson. And largely, I want to know what the phone call was when it came to Mike Tyson, because I'm curious to ask what played out, because I think it's more likely like this. I think Jake Paul was looking at the numbers, and he's like, Jesus Christ, like none of these fights are selling. Who can I get? That would be a great sell, a great fight. And he hit up Netflix and was like, look, I got an idea. Call up Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson's probably sitting in his house, stoned, a little bit overweight, chubby, getting ready to watch the Francis and Anthony Joshua fight. And Netflix called Tyson, and they're like, hey, Tyson, we got an offer for you. Tyson's like, okay, what are you talking about? He's like, we want you to fight Jake Paul. He's like, what? Fighting Jake Paul? Why the fuck am I fighting Jake Paul for? And Netflix is like, before you say no, wait, hold up a second. Mike, here's a number. And Mike was like, well, hold on. Huh? How much? Fuck it, let's go, man. Let's go do it. Fuck it, I got some bills to pay anyway. And so anyway, I think Tyson saw the number that they were throwing out and said, you know what? This is a free fight on Netflix. It gets paid to all the subscribers. They're going to pay me a fucking ripload bag of money. And Tyson said, fuck it, let's do it. I ain't got no ego. Plus, I'm always broke. I need some money because fighters and athletes always stay broke. So now we got to the real question of like the X's and O's. Like, what does this look like? What does this fight actually look like if we watch Tyson and Jake Paul? And as a combat specialist, someone who watches combat for a living, who likes to really watch and examine and kind of see the X's and O's of the game, I'm looking at Jake Paul as the favorite. And some people might be like, well, dude, it's Mike Tyson, man. Iron Mike Tyson. Look at the highlights. Look how he was knocking people out. I'm like, yeah. Mike Tyson is almost 55, 60 years almost. Yeah, 30 years ago, Mike Tyson would have mopped the floor with Jake Paul. But this is a 50-something plus year old Mike Tyson versus a 20-something year old Jake Paul who's been fighting for about 4 or 5 years now. And when we look at the weight discrepancy, Tyson's probably coming in about 220. Jake Paul's about 190 something. I like Jake Paul in this fight. I like Jake Paul. And let me tell you something. If Jake Paul hits Mike Tyson and flatlines Tyson, and we see a Tyson, an old Tyson, on the mat sleeping because of the hands of Jake Paul, brother, let me tell you something, brothers. Let me tell you something right now. If we see Jake Paul knock out Mike Tyson, this will fucking revolutionize the way that boxing and just fights in general are played out. Because say what you want to say. Everybody's saying, oh, this is a freak show. Fuck, Jake Paul has no respect, blah, blah, blah. Listen, brother, let me tell you something. You're going to watch it. This is the number one fight of 2024. I don't care what anybody else is talking about. This is the biggest fight of 2024. I really can't imagine a bigger fight besides maybe Jake Paul and Logan Paul fighting. Or maybe Mike Tyson fighting Anderson Silva. I don't know who else Mike Tyson could fight that would draw bigger eyes and bigger numbers. Because this is the fight. So now we're looking at it and we're gonna say, okay, what's the byproduct? So let's say Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson. Who's next? How do you top this? And I really think the only person that can top Mike Tyson, if Jake Paul's able to sleep Mike Tyson, beat Mike Tyson. If Jake Paul sleeps Mike Tyson and he says, give me Chael Sonnen, I will lose my shit. I will lose it. Because here's the situation. We got Jake Paul, we got Mike Tyson. Everybody wants to see Tyson. Tyson's the lovable old grandfather, uncle that we want to see fucking succeed. And Jake Paul's a very unlikable character. So we got Jake Paul as the heel, Mike Tyson as the baby face, which is fucking hilarious because who would have ever guessed Mike Tyson would be a baby face in any situation? And so the people are going to be rooting for Mike Tyson to finish off Jake Paul to get this thing, to basically derail the Jake Paul's train. And I don't think it's going to happen. And the next question is like, how many rounds are they fighting? They're going to fight 10. They're going to fight 12. How many minutes at the round? I prefer to see 2 minutes. So we get preem Mike Tyson just kind of going out. But I really think Tyson's best bet is to sleep Jake Paul within the first like 4 or 5 rounds. Anything after that third or fourth round is going to start getting dicey for Tyson, because that's when youth plays a factor. Because I remember I watched the Roy Jones Mike Tyson fight. Mike Tyson looked good. He did look good, but that was an old Roy Jones with not a lot of power, CTE riddled, and it was kind of like an exhibition. This fight, Jake Paul's coming for Mike Tyson, man. We saw what Jake Paul did to Anderson Silva. He put Anderson Silva down. He put Tyron Woodley down. He had put down younger guys who are more recently into combat. Mike Tyson hasn't been training for almost 2 years. I think that the Roy Jones Mike Tyson fight was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Since that time, Jake Paul has developed like exponentially better. He's exponentially better from the time from fighting YouTubers and NBA basketball players to fighting actually legit boxers, legit combat experts. He beat up Woodley twice. He beat up Ben Askren, Anderson Silva. He fought 2, I guess you would say, legitimate boxers who are like Uber drivers. And he lost to, whatever his name, Wilson Fury. I can't wait for this. I'm very hyped for this fight because this is what fighting is about. Fighting is about getting 2 of the biggest stars that we can go find, put them in the ring, letting the build-up fucking build, because that build-up is going to be insane. The press conferences, if we can get the old Tyson who talks crazy, reckless shit, if we can get that dog back in the podcast, my God, the podcast, the content, build-up, you guys not understand. This is going to be a show for the millennium. And I'm rooting for Jake Paul. And shout out to Tyson for being such a sport, willing to put his name out there and let somebody beat him for a chance to get some glory off and get some shine. Because at this point, Tyson, dude, he already knows. I'm cooked. I am cooked as a fighter. I'm cooked as a man. I'm an old dude. Let me go have some fun. Let me give some rub. It's like pro wrestling. You don't want the old tiger to fucking take out the young tiger. You want the young tiger to win, get some gloss, because that's how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be passing down your name to the next guy. And most of these boxers, like, who else is going to fight? Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis. Who else can Tyson fight, really? Silva, I guess he could fight Silva. Silva would be an interesting fight. And then maybe Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen will step in the ring with him. But I'm hoping that Jake Paul, if he beats Mike Tyson, the next call-out is Chael Sonnen. Because let me tell you something. Chael Sonnen is showing up. Chael Sonnen is showing up, and we're going to see a beautiful fucking fight. So, shout out to Tyson. Shout out to Jake Paul. This is a beautiful fucking game. I'm loving life. We're breaking the combat simulation. We're breaking the simulation of the internet. And let's see it go down, man. I'm just happy. I'm a happy man because this is what life is about. Spontaneous, random shit that we never expected playing out in a way that we never could predict. So appreciate you, Jake Paul, for appreciate you, Jake Paul, for being the villain that we all need in this life. Because Lord knows there's not enough villains in this life. Shout out to Bad Guy Inc.